Welcome to the Dave It Yourself channel, the home of unique RC creations and unique RC views. Dave It Yourself, stick around. Hey friends, Dave here with Creative Drones on the Dave It Yourself channel. Welcome on back. As you might see in front of me here on the table, I have an Arrows F-15. It happens to be one of three of these particular planes that I have in my current possession. And one of these planes is going to be definitely going away to one of my new subscribers. We are currently in a push for the 500 subscriber mark. I think I'm right over 408 or something like that. Anyway, nonetheless, the rules of this particular game on my channel are: make sure you're subscribed. If you're subscribed, comment on any of my videos to let me know that you are subscribed so I can get that confirmation. From there, I will put your name in the hat, and you'll see that go into the hat every Sunday on this live chat as well. So everybody new will go into the hat, so you'll see who's in there. From there, the way it goes is that once you're subscribed, every other person that you get to subscribe to my channel that isn't currently subscribed, you get their name in the hat and your name in the hat again for every one that you get to subscribe. So you subscribe, that's one name. You get 5 friends, now you have 6 of your name and their 5 names. So that's how that's going to work. So once we hit the 500 subscriber mark, I'm going to go ahead and pull all those names out. So if you want your name in the hat, you have to confirm that you are subscribed. And then you have to have your friend, once they subscribe, comment on any one of my videos, preferably one of the earlier ones way down the list, just because those don't get much play anymore. But just comment somewhere that they are now a subscriber, so now their name will go on the list, and then who got them to subscribe. And as long as you're subscribed, then I'll go ahead and put your name back in the list as well. So that's how that's going to work. And once we hit 500, we're going to pull them out. But for right now, with this particular plane, which is my original purchase, I was really originally buying this one because I was going to turn it into a shelf queen. Because it's just so dang pretty. I was afraid I was going to fly it if you've seen any of the videos on my channel. I don't know what the ratio of successful landings versus non-successful landings is, but it's pretty tight. Let me tell you, there's more probably bad ones than good ones. As a matter of fact, I think my highest rated video right now is the Viper when I crash, fix, crash again. That dang plane, that's the bane of my existence. But anyway, so that being the case, I didn't want to really fly this one. Just wanted to fix it up, clean it up, tiffen it up, make it look good, weather it, make it look sweet, and then basically hang it from the ceiling at some point in time. And then I had 2 more show up. So one probably will turn into a flying bird for me, and then the other one will be a giveaway. But regardless, I'm going to definitely do a shelf queen, so we're going to start with this one here. And depending on how this project goes, and if I get the guts to fly it, then maybe the other Arrows F-15 I'll try to give away during Jet Jam in January. We'll see about that. So stick around. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you get your name in that. So anyway, I just want to go over some of the stuff that I normally do. It's stuff that I use when I am doing refinishing on planes. I use stuff for protection, such as Mod Podge. I use originally just isopropyl alcohol, 70% maximum. Do not put 90% on your foam planes. It has a red label. It's a big difference. It's red because it's hot, and you can see I wrote hot all over it. I made the mistake of grabbing the wrong bottle one time from the side kind of thing and thought it was the 70, and it was a bigger bottle, and it was not. So 70 RC foams, okay. 90, not for RC planes. Do not put your stuff anywhere near there. That's the only reason this is out here, and now I'm going to put it off to the side. But what I would do is I'll take this big boy out of the box. I'm not going to do any unboxing, really. I'm going to play this part on fast motion here in a minute, just to get the pieces out. And once all the pieces out, I'll slow the video back down. But from there, what the normal process is of course, the initial inspection, make sure everything looks good. And then from there, since I'm going to be turning this into a shelf queen, we're going to be doing some dismantling of some things, such as like taking the servo rods off and maybe horns, things like that, if I can't get them taped up properly. And we're going to start prepping it for that. And then from there, once I do that, then we'll get in there with doing some alcohol initially with some good wipe down to get all the release agent that they use in these molds. That leaves a thin residue in spots sometimes. And if you try to put something over it, it'll bead up like oil kind of thing. So you want to get all that off. And then from there, I've got some steel wool here. And this is 4/0. Yeah, 4/0 is the smallest I could find. If you could find 5 to 6/0, even better. But 4/0, I'll just use it very lightly. But in this particular situation, since I'm going to be putting a coating over it, which is going to harden up the plane and also dry clear, I'm going to use this to kind of give the entire surface of a plane just the very lightest buff just to kind of give it some grip so that when this stuff goes on. And then with this Mod Podge is pretty thick, like a little thicker than Elmer's glue coming right out of a jug. So I will pour out some of this in a separate container and thin it down with water, and then I will start putting on really, really thin coats of Mod Podge all over the plane. And then from there, we'll kind of let those settle down. And then I've got things like my yellow frog tape I can use. This is for the super delicate surfaces, and you know, this yellow stuff's really what I like. Of course, you have to get a good knife. I've got some of these brushes right here that I got, which are some of these trim little applicator type foam brushes. I've never really used these before, but I wanted to try it after I thinned out the Mod Podge. Can I use something like this with that nice soft bristle there to just do the nice finished strokes and see how that'll lay down since it'll already be thinned out. So that's I'm going to be experimenting with that. Of course, I always want to represent the old paper tape, not necessarily Next Care, but they are the one I'm currently using. Paper tape. And I think I just made a comment on RC Sailors video the other day because poor Nathan had that plane that went up and he had a bunch of glue and hot glue globbed on it and all that. And that works great, but if you want to minimize all that weight from the hot glue, a little bit of hot glue, put a strip of paper tape over that, push it in so that the glue comes through the tape, use the tip of the gun to just kind of melt it down through the tape, and once it actually hardens, it'll be exactly like a fiberglass repair, except flexible. So if it hits the ground again, I guarantee it will not break in that same spot. That's how important, that's how helpful this stuff is. Also, I have the easy lights out here. I'm not actually going to be putting these on this plane. I have my own set. But Everything RC actually won these. I'm still waiting to get his email address so I can send these out to him. But these are the types of gifts, these $30 LED lights that I give out on my channel all the time. And I have other big gifts besides just this bird coming out. So if you guys aren't subscribed, make sure you are, and make sure you turn in my little live stream on 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Set a little reminder in your phone, or tell your dog to remind you, whatever, but just set a little thing there just so you can pop by. I like to call it After Dinner with Dave. It's only an hour. I try not to run longer than an hour. Normally I'll fire up the stream about 15 minutes or so before 6 o'clock just to let everybody kind of gather in, and then I'll stroll in right at 6 o'clock. Try to cruise out right at 7 o'clock so you can get on with your night and catch on with better live streams, but at least this way you can be present, you can make sure you're subscribed, you can make sure I get your name in the hat, and you can make sure that you get in line to win a free $400 plane from Dave. And I'll even ship it to you for free, so something to think about. You know, if you like that kind of stuff. I don't even ask you to buy anything, I just ask you to do something for free, which is to subscribe, and then from there, here's your bonuses. Some more of the other materials I've got some electrical tape here, so we'll see. Normally when it comes to using or trying to like tuck in the wires and stuff inside the canopies, I love to just use the paper tape because it works really, really well and it comes off if you need it, or if you want it to stay there forever, you just run a little hot glue over it to smooth it down kind of thing. And it forms a great bond like that too. But there may be some areas where maybe electrical tape may come in handy, so I have some of the Duck brand here for that. And then in this particular plane, I'm going to be running the Smart 30C 6S 5000. Maybe. I haven't actually put it in this plane yet, so I'm not sure if it'll actually fit in here. But I got this big bad boy. I haven't even taken it out of the box, you can see, so I'm ready to see what this will go in. And if it won't go in this plane, I do have some smaller successes, I think. Maybe 4,000s I might have, which I think will fit in here. Anyway, we'll figure that out when we cross that bridge. And then I didn't bring it out here, but of course I'm going to try to figure out a way to utilize see what this cockpit's got to offer so that I can go ahead and put that Insta360 Go up in there. Because you know me, I love the RC aviation hobby, and if you've seen like the main little banner on my page kind of thing, you know, I say in there, you know, on this channel, be a part of the action, because not only do you get to be a part of the pilot experience, or you know, I'm talking about me, regardless whether you consider me a real pilot or not, but not only do you get to hear my shenaniganery on the ground, but I like to put cameras on planes so that you can also experience the flight itself. So yeah, you'll get to see me, you'll get to see my view, you'll get to see the plane as it turns to a black dot in the distance, like you would on most channels, but at the same time you'll also most likely have at least one, if not more, cameras on that plane to also share that experience. And I like to fly a lot at night or in the morning, so I get sunrise sunset shots, so check out some of my recent videos. You'll see what I'm talking about. And then Insta360 Go is a fantastic little 20 grand camera with digital stabilization. I think it's 2K or 1080p or something like that. Anyway, you've seen the videos. It's fantastic. And works really, really great. And if you do happen to like that, just know that's also going to be a giveaway on my channel coming soon. I ordered it, so it's coming in. So anyway, so that's what we've got. So I'm going to go ahead and stop in my blah, 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 and get more to the taking stuff out. So this is going to be the part where you're going to basically go into fast motion. I'm going to clear this out, pull it out, and then once I get everything out, then we'll go from there. So fast motion in 3, 2, 1. Alright, friends, so I've got the Arrows F-15 out. You saw me going over it and giving it a good gander as I was taking it out of the box. Some of the things that I've noticed are that this decal type system that they put on here, they have quite a few air pockets in here. Little bubbles. I was trying to feel on them to see if they happen to be the little rosettes. And when I talk about rosettes, those are normally the little, they're really hard to see, but the little 5 little star dots or whatever that you see from when the injection mold puts that in. Here, the rosettes will be hidden, but sometimes they're on the body surface, and you can see them here underneath the servos. So I was trying to feel to see if it was the little rosettes there, but these look like they're actually air pockets. And if they are actually air pockets, then we can get rid of those. And the way you do that is you take a super sharp knife or a very small pin, something that won't leave a big hole, and you just give it a little, you just pop that, just put the smallest hole in it, and then from there go over with a credit card or something like that, or rubber squeegee or something, help push that out and make it flat. And then from there, once you put on the Mod Podge and all of those stickers and decals, the Mod Podge will get up underneath there, help hold that down as well, but it'll be a nice sheen finish I'm doing on here. And the Mod Podge I'm going to use is the one that's, this is actually the gloss finish, and you saw it on the, I think I put it on the Apprentice. I think it's on that plane. No, it's on the, my Cessna, it's on that plane. That's still in the back of the van. I still got that jank out front wheel. If you haven't seen that video, that's pretty good. But anyway, so if you've seen the sheen on that, it's going to be a little shinier. But I normally do start with a little bit of a shinier bottom surface, because from there I'm going to go over it and do the detail work. And when I do the detail work on my planes and weather them out, although I do have an airbrush, a really nice airbrush, I just not practiced it forever, plus it's still in storage like most of my stuff is. So normally what I do is I'm going to do kind of what I call a black wash on them, which is where you use some black latex pigment, normally something that you get at the craft store, Walmart, something like that. And it comes in different finishes, flat, things like that, different colors. But normally I might use one or a couple different colors, just a couple little dots, a little bit of water, but make the water runny enough so that I can put it on heavily, maybe even use those brushes. And then from there, it will sink into the crevices and all of the panel lines. And then from there, give it a little bit of a time to kind of set up in there, and then lightly come back over with a paper towel and take the stuff that's off the flat surfaces off, and then that will leave the darkness behind. And then since it is inside the crevices and it's, you know, water and it's still drying, if you wanted to give it that oil streak appearance in certain areas, then you just take a little brush and just just get the little flick wherever you want it in those areas. And then once that dries down, it also dulls the sheen of the gloss, but it also gives it that really heavily and nicely weathered look as far as I'm concerned. So that's what we're going to do with that. And like I said, we're going to do that to the bombs as well. What I'll probably do is get online and see exactly what the armament looks like color-wise. I'm sure it's pretty similar to this. Maybe just need to be a little bit darker, and if that's the case, we'll just kind of fix that. I really like the way that they have that set up. It's really pretty looking. It's good stuff. And I was showing you here on the tail, the insignias on the tail of the Oregon National Guard, 1941 to 2016, 75th anniversary. I mean, if you haven't ever been to Oregon, and I haven't, but I've had family members that have lived there, and anytime you just look at it I mean, it's just beautiful over there. Heck, I'm sure G.B. Linder could tell you he was up in Washington State, so that's sort of over in that area. You may have been there before. But anyway, and then one of the other things I mentioned I want to do, I want to try to take a look at this cockpit and see what we can do about slapping the old Insta360 Go up in here. So let's see what we got to work with here. So, alright, so dealing with, get a little bit, okay, so it's really just a, kind of like your standard hard plastic decal with the cowl here. No plastic wrap to the sides or anything. May give a little scuff resistance here. It's kind of a heavier decal. But should be able to go through that. The other thing to do, and actually probably the best thing to do, do they have a dashboard in there? Okay, they got some instruments in there. Alright, so the pilot, probably the easiest thing to do. Pilot, be a good way to get him out here. It looks like his shoulders maybe a little wide. Maybe, we'll see about that. But if I have to, I'll just try to just cut him out of there and see what we're working with. But if I can get the pilot out, bloop, and then use the Insta360 Go with maybe some, that light squishy foam that you get wrapped around things. Not styrofoam, but, squishy foam or whatever. Maybe give it a little toilet seat cushion or something around the bottom, so just when it pushes up in there, it's just perfect. But that would probably be the best place. Either that or try to put it back here behind the pilot, but his actual chair is so dang high. But that chair does have some fairly decent detail on it, so does that dash. So actually, we'll see. It may actually be worthwhile to just go along here with a really sharp knife and just cut this plastic canopy seam right along here, super easy. And then from there, maybe with a Q-tip, maybe some of the regular alcohol, get it up in there to try to eat the glue that's on there, because they just have this glue right on the foam. And then maybe just pull that off. But if I can do that, then maybe I can drop some earth magnets in here, right here in the corners where you see the intersections, and of course right up here in the front. And maybe that would be a good idea to hold that on, and then I can just change the camera out without having to do any excavation. But if I do any excavation, it's on the bottom. And I got a feeling we may have to cut out some of this anyway for the battery, but again, we'll see about that. But my main goal, like I said, is to turn this bad boy into a shelf queen. But at the same time, if I can convert a canopy, I have two other planes. So, and depending on how this plane comes out and how much sort of reception I get from it, and you guys enjoying it and all that, who knows? Maybe this will be the plane I give away. I got the box for it, and I got the shipping crate it came in, so it'll go right to you, though, just the way it came to me. It just had your name on it instead of mine, because I will have sent it to you. And then from there, only other things, me, I'm not a very big fan of just flying what everybody else flies. Yeah, same plane. Me, I can't fly a damn stock plane. So we're definitely going to do some work there. I would not mind coming up with some sort of guard here, at least kind of a half guard to try to close this up a little bit. I think that might be nice. We'll see, something. I got a bunch of bin plastic just from recycling from stuff, so I'm sure I might be able to come up with something, and maybe use some little foam mounts to kind of offset it from there. Little paper tape and hot glue kind of hold them in place. I don't know, we'll see about that. They're fairly flush as is, but this cavity right here is pretty open, and I can see that. I can see as the wind going by, that's gonna be a sum-sum. So I don't know, we'll see about that. Maybe I'll just use something clear and just have it just close right over the hole as the gear goes down. But we'll have to see how that would work when the gear goes down, because clearly these are going to spin when they come down. So anyway, that's the plan with that. So yes, there's that. So I think what I'll do is I think I'll just start with a wing for this particular part of the episode, and then I will that way I have a decent sized piece. Both of these wings need some of these air pockets removed, so I can show you some of that technique. It looks like the panel lines here are probably deep enough. However, where the decals run past the panel lines, I need to help accentuate that, or it's going to kind of fudge up the look of the weathering. So the best way I normally know to do that is to just really just give the old finger rub so you can figure out where those creases are. And then if they need to be deeper because there's a decal over them, then once you have that rubbed out, normally, to be honest with you, normally a penny, and then you just kind of just roll it along that crease nice and straight to give it that nice square indentation, which would be about the same size as what you're doing here. I wouldn't use a dime or anything like that because it's got the knurled edges for the people that are blind, but with the nickel's probably going to make too wide, but if you ever wanted to make some wider or deeper ones, a nickel would be good. Or if you get the really long ones, normally what I recommend that you do is, once you find where your seam is, because like this one goes through the sticker here, you can kind of push on it with your finger and get it to kind of expose itself, and then it comes through the decal here, and then it kind of breaks out. So since I can see it here, and if I wanted to make a uniform seam, what I might do is get my metal ruler and then set it, into the groove, and then that way just kind of give it some nice, hold it up there, just, run your finger across it a couple times, or, something hard so you don't cut yourself or whatever, just run it across the top, just to give it that constant running pressure against it, which will slowly indent the deal, and then just move the ruler down if it's not long enough, and then just kind of do it again. But we'll see. Sometimes in the past I have used wooden skewers, because on one side you have the point, on the other side you have kind of that square butt end, so you can kind of get some different appeals there. I actually have I think I bought some leather working tools, if I'm not mistaken. It's like a 4-piece wooden set, one looks like a little spade, and one looks like there's like 3 or 4 different pieces, and I originally bought them for this, but of course those are also in storage, so I don't know where those are, so we're just going to have to Dave it yourself and come up with something else for now. But that's what I'll do there. So I think I'm going to work on the one wing, and then that way for the next live stream coming up on Sunday, this Sunday coming up, I'll be able to show you a little before and after action. I'll go ahead and remove the hardware here, and I'll show you how we go ahead and prep that up. And then, we'll start doing the impressions on this, popping those holes, get it clear coated, get it cleaned up, and then get this wing basically dressed, weathered, and ready to roll. And then since the weathering, when I do the weathering, I'll get all the pieces to kind of moderately the same light weathering, but since I do it all when they're not together, I won't do the finished weathering on each piece until I get it together, and then at that point, maybe what I'll do is use one final thinned out coat of Mod Podge with a little bit of, just a drop of black and maybe a drop of Battleship Gray or something. And a lot of times, I get a lot of those latex paints, those little craft paints from Walmart. And they have a lot of really cool metallic finishes and things like that. So sometimes, especially like in the greasy areas, I might use like the metallic black gold kind of deal and then mix it in, and that gives it that cool sheen after it's dry. So that's a good way to do that. But again, I'm just using a foam brush or a painter's brush or something, just kind of give it that feathered brush if I want streaks. But yeah, this is going to be a fun one to work on, and getting all these decals and stuff, since those decals are so pretty. So beautiful, but yeah, they just take up so much space and covering all those panel lines, and you got bubble pockets and stuff. So we're going to get all those fixed out and get one of these looking about dang ready to be installed, and then we'll show you the before and after coming up here on Sunday. And then from there, we will continue to work on that. And if you guys like what you see and you comment in this particular video and you want to see me work on this bad boy some more on Sunday during the live stream, we'll do that, because that'll be fun. I think I'm probably going to be skipping out on special guests for a while until I have, their contingency ride or something that can't do on here. Hunter should hopefully be back by next Sunday, so we'll have somebody monitoring the chat and all that. But again, the main thing about being there on Sunday is to get subscribed, tell me that you're subscribed so I can write your name down on a sheet of paper. And then from there, get your friends to subscribe, get them to tell me that you made them subscribe so I get your name on a sheet of paper again and their name on a sheet of paper. Get all these names into the bucket, and then once I hit 500 subscribers, then we're going to rattle up that bucket Maybe I'll have a special guest for then. We'll see. And then from there, we'll have him pull it out, and that particular winner is going to win the Arrows F-15 still in the dang box. And I'm going to throw it back in the shipping brown box it came to me in. So you're going to get it like it just came out of the pack. I haven't even opened those. This is the first one I've opened. So anyway, so that's the plan there. So I'm going to go ahead and get this pack back up. I'm going to go ahead and do some of that work, and then you'll probably see that maybe in some fast motion work here in a bit, just because I've already explained what I'm going to do. But until then, stick around and see how this goes. I appreciate you watching so far. Thanks. Alright, so fast motion in 3, 2, 1. Alright folks, you can kind of see maybe this is the undone wing, and this is the one that's done on the top. You can kind of see where maybe you can catch it in the glare there, maybe not. I have to really put that Mod Podge to put darkening in there, but went ahead and figured out that my nails, since I cut those a few days ago and they're all filed down now, at this point they actually made perfect indentations, so that's what I went with there. Just used my nails, just kind of force those decals down inside of those grooves after I found them by giving it some constant pressure with my finger. And then from there, just going back and kind of running that fingernail down there, kind of help it out a little bit. If you run it down the fingernail, of course, you know, it's not quite straight or whatever. Don't sweat it because you won't notice it once you do all that detail work. But from right now, just looking at the sheen and how flat this decal is compared to how this one looks like it's actually been painted on the plane already. Just from that little woodwork, that's good stuff. And you notice I haven't went ahead and wiped it down with alcohol or anything yet, because I'm just going to go ahead and get my finger grease all over it now, and then I'll wipe it down with alcohol after that in a bit. So I want to make sure all these decals are down first. And, you know, it looks like all the wiring that they did a really good job tucking all this wiring into these really thin channels. So those are thin enough, I don't really even need to mess with those. Normally on planes, especially like if that's Cessna, I would go back with some paper tape and then just go ahead and cover this up so it's a nice smooth surface. But they did a good job on these. These look really good. So next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and pull off this stuff here on the side, this control horn, so I can get to that. I got a decal right here, this naval star right here that's kind of got the edge of it right in that little cup circle right there where the form is. That edge is just dipping in there a bit, just enough to put a, you can't see it, but just enough to put a little gap underneath that sticker. So that's going to be another great reason why I use things like Mod Podge and stuff like that. You'll never have to worry about flying on a dewy day or moist day or something like that, and then having your stick of water get up underneath your decals or get inside your plate gear. Once you put that Mod Podge on here, especially several coats, this thing will go from being sounding like a styrofoam piece to sounding like an actual fiberglass piece. And it doesn't add that much weight, but boy, it really helps. Makes them faster as far as I'm concerned. Every plane I put it on has been faster. That F-16 that I have on my channel, that's the one I did 120 miles an hour in, and that thing was Mod Podge from front to toe, from head to toe. So, yeah, so there's the deal on that. All right, so I'm just going to continue to work on that, and then you'll see here in just a bit when I start getting into taking this stuff apart and all that. But for right now, I'm going to take a break, and here's a word from our sponsor.